Hey you all, how are you? So I see some familiar names here: Skitty24, Iaxon, Bokuto29. Hey, I'm so glad to see you around here today. Um, what do you think of our session yesterday? Do you like it? What you're hoping for today's session? Uh, again, I just want to make sure you can hear me, you can see me, everything's fine with the stream. We have a comment here from Jacarandi. Hi everyone, hi. So, oh, we can't see you on the comments. Okay, I'm back. I try to reboot this. So, oh, thanks. I really like that you enjoyed yesterday's session. Uh, back. Now we can see you. Okay. I'm sorry if the video is stopping. But again, the important thing, it's not my face. So if you can see my slides and you can hear my voice, that then everything's fine, right? So today's session, we are going to focus more on the open source workflow and how to make these contributions, right? Yesterday, we were talking more about the non-code contributions, and this does not require a workflow at all. For example, we mentioned that using being a user of the open source tools make you a contributor, trying to organize a community, etc. Right? So as long as you are part of the ecosystem, well, you're contributing to the open source. But now we are going to focus more on how to actually do these technical contributions. Um, and yeah, I want to talk you more about the open source ecosystem in full depth, right? Uh, yeah, I see that my camera it's going on and off. Now we cannot see you. Okay. Again, it doesn't matter. I just want to confirm that you can hear me, right? If anyone can post here in the comments that you can hear me, I will thank that confirmation. Yes, amazing. So, I asked yesterday for the ones who were with me. Yeah, okay. I see some of you can see me and can hear me. So this may be by the internet, right? So I was telling you that I asked yesterday, but I am going to ask again. Is it your first time with open source? Are you familiar with the term? Have you ever contributed? And if you do, what's your contribution? Tell us more about it. Um, yeah, I want to see here in the comments. I'm waiting for your responses, right? So let me start sharing. Meanwhile, okay, a little bit familiar with open source, we from Anant. Skitty tell us that familiar and contributed a little bit as well. That's amazing. What was your contribution? What project? What did you do? I want to hear it from you. Uh, Familiar with having contributed yet? Well, I hope at the end of this session that you are more than um, inspired to contribute this Hacktoberfest, right? Uh, hey, Oscar this, I remember you from yesterday. I have contributed to one repo. Which repo it was? Which project? What did you do? What stack? Tell us more, please. Um, yeah. So that's the comments. I'm sharing now my screen. You're supposed to see a golden Hacktoberfest logo. Please again confirm that you're seeing this, and then we can proceed. Because I have a theoretical part prepared for you, uh, which is this. Well, I okay. I don't know why that happened. Let me. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And okay, here we go again. I didn't like it. It makes like a little switch. I want to fix it. Give me a second. Sorry. Hmm. Okay, I'm going to have to be okay with the switch thing, I guess. So here we are again. I I usually don't have this uh, good practice that I need to introduce myself more, right? I I, I almost don't do this at the streams, but I wanted to take a little bit of time here. Uh, I'm from Mexico. I see a comment here. I usually do this more at the hackathon, the member league events I attend. I introduce myself. I tell you that my name is Alberto Camarena. That I'm from Mexico. What else I can say more about me? I'm a really passionate about coffee. I'm a photography enthusiast. I really like to talk about custom PC, custom keyboards, and those things. I enjoy talking about the education and how we can um, benefit ourselves from the internet era to be more like proactive. Um, well, yes, I think that much about me. I am merely hacking coach, and I will be giving you this session today about how to contribute to open source, right? The open source workflow. So next, we will see that this talk is branded open source workflow explained, and our agenda will be checking what is open source because I think this is a big step. We cannot contribute without knowing what is open source. And if you're not so sure about it, I will go to a little recap of what is open source, what is free software, and what is proprietary or closed software, right? Next, it's why to contribute. Why should I take my time on contributing to open source? What do I win from this? What's my part of this contribution, right? The next part will be how to find a project to contribute. And to, believe me, I think this is like the most how to say it? It's not complicated, but it's the one in for beginners in which you spend more time, or at least it was my case. Once I find a project to contribute, the contribution itself was not in time compared to the time I'd spent on finding a project, right? But we will see this how then the contribution workflow, we are going to go to GitHub and we are going to start trying to find these projects and contributing right now, right? So, what is open source? Um, First, I want to see from you here on the comments. Uh, for example, here, did the stream just start now? Yeah, a couple minutes ago. You're not missing. You have a good chance to follow these streams. Yeah, I want to hear from you. What is open source? What do you understand of open source? If anyone wants to participate, I will really appreciate that here in the comments. So I am going to give you some time before I pass to the next slide because the answer is in there. um, Come on, Skinny24, tell me, what do you think open source is? Any good definition? What do you understand? It not necessarily has to be a technical definition. What do you think of when I say open source? In my case, if I, well, it's tricky because I read the full definition, but I would think of I, a way of think things, right? A way of doing things, more like a framework than I don't know, more than a framework, more like a framework um, than other things. I will get too much in that. Okay, no comments, but I will tell you the answer. The open source software, if software that is source code that anyone can inspect, modify, and enhance. This definition, you can find it in the open source page, opensource.com. The term open source refers to something that people can modify, share, because its design is public accessible, right? Okay. I think you lost these slides when I switch, but I don't know. Oh, I had some comments here. Open source is a project which, or it's probably okay. That's a good definition. Open source it's a project which source is publicly available for people to contribute for to the growth of the project. I can still see the slides. Okay, amazing. Thanks. I'm going to hide them for a second, and I am going to open another thing I have around here to see. Okay, ready. So the term open source refer this thing that people can modify and share because it's public accessible, right? The term originated in the context of software. I explicitly put two times here software, right? To designate the specific approach of computer programs. But today, however, the open source term designate a broader set of values. This is what I wanted to refer when I was saying like this framework, right? This mindset, this set of values that we call the open source way, right? So if you like the Mandalorian, for example, this is the way, right? Open source now are products or initiatives that embrace and celebrate these principles of open exchange. This makes the projects collaborative, um, and give us transparency, give us meritocracy, and it is a framework based on community. This is community oriented development, right? So I think this is what I like the most. And I told you yesterday about this. This is what I like the most about open source, that is focused on the community. What we as the community of the software decide the path, decide what we want, decide what we don't want, what we want to change, what we want to add, what we want to modify. I mean, it's up to us as the consumers, as the users of this. It is not dependent on a company or business decisions. It's up to us, right? So I give you the definition. I give you what I understand, and I give you what I like it, right? So let's go to the next thing, which is the difference between open source and other types of software, right? Because we have the pre- proprietary software, the closed one, the one you can't modify. Um, this software, there are lots of examples. For example, Python. It's not proprietary. Uh, it is open source. Python, um, it's the opposite of the proprietary software for MATLAB, for example. In MATLAB, you cannot see the code base. You cannot modify how it's built. You cannot um, take action of this software. Uh, but we can do the same with MATLAB and with Python, right? It's up to you which you want to choose and which you want to, yeah, to embrace, like the proprietary one or the open source one, right? The free software. Okay, this is complicated and this is an interesting topic because for a long, long time, open source software held the label of free software. This started when Richard Stallman in, I think, was 1980, 83. I can remember well. Established the Guinean project. um, it is a full story about um, how he was mad with some technicians because they didn't allow him to modify uh, the software or a machine. Um, yeah, the software or machine, etc. So he was like, I'm going to give this full approach of freedom, etc. Right? So free software means software can respect users' freedom and community. Broadly, it means that the user has to have the free of run, copy, distribute, study, and change or improve the software, right? There are four principles of free software, and these principles are the freedom to run the program as you wish for any purpose, the freedom to study the program, how it works, and change it so you can compute things as you wish. The freedom to redistribute these copies so you can help others with the same problems that you solved, and the freedom to distribute copies of your modified version. Sorry, the last one was just to redistribute copies of the software, and the last one is the freedom to redistribute copies of your modified version. These are four freedoms, but the first one is the freedom zero because we are programmers, so we are zero indexed, right? So open source, it's something different than that. and it's a different philosophy based on different values. According to this, for example, I have a quote of Richard Stallman that says that in terms of free software and open source, the open source stands for almost the same range of programs. However, they say deeply different things are about these programs based on different values. The free software movement campaigns for freedom and the users of computing. The free software movement campaigns for freedom and the users of computing. Remember, the free software movement, it's more about um, the, the the ethical thing, right? The freedoms of the users. Meanwhile, in contrast, the open source idea values are mainly practical, and this is not the same as the free software. Another thing to have in mind is that for some cases, people tend to confuse the free software as free for, I don't know, in Spanish it's called gratis, and they even say this word, free as in freedom, not as in gratis. It's not freebie for everyone, right? It's freedom as you are libre to use these kind of tools whatever way you want. uh, Remember the four principles of freedom, right? So that's the main difference between free software and open source, like the motivation behind it. I want to see some comments here because I know it's a little confusing, and I know per proprietary is closed software and it's hard to pronounce. Yeah, agreed. Pro, I tried to speak that. Okay, yeah. So, any confusions? I know this is not, and for most people, they can act in the same way, right? Just for the free software people, there's a very big difference about this. I actually take these quotes from Richard Stallman and take this information from the Free Software Foundation because they want to make a clear difference between these two. The open source people doesn't care, to be honest. The open source people, it's again more like in a pragmatic way. Hey, why don't we try to make these things to make it better, to be more productive, to be more secure, etc. Um, and here we have. Uh, Okay, this thing switches. Give me a second, and I'm going to share another thing for you. Just give me a second. Mhm. Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, I see a comment here. Everything's clear. Fine. So we see what is closed software, the one you cannot modify, the one you cannot redistribute. You have to pay for this. You can see how it's built. Okay, very clear, right? We have the free software based of four principles. We know there's a difference between free software and open source. And now let's get in deep about open source. What open source offers us, right? The one of the important things that open source offers to us, and I mentioned it, it's security. Security because a lot of eyes are in this software. So it is not common that a bug passes through thousands of eyes, right? And even if that happens, it's quickly reported and fixed, right? So that gives us also stability, right? Because these many users give the maintainers, the programmers of the project, uh, quick reports of how things are done. And well, this gives us stability, right? We also have control, and we have a community that it's, again, for me at least, the most important thing that open source offers to us, right? I don't want to say the other types of softwares doesn't have communities. No, no, no. They do have, but at least I don't know, the open source community for me, it's such big thing. um, what else? What type of values are the motivation of open source? We see the motivation for free software, that it's the freedom to run, copy, distribute, study, and improve the programs, right? But open source, it's about transparency, it's about reliability, it's about flexibility, it's about reducing the cost, but it does not affect the robustness of the product, right? So we take those values, and we it's true that open source, it's more focused on practicalness, right? In getting a better product. So yeah, let me share the screen. We see what is open source. Now let's get our attention on why to contribute. These are some, a little few of the reasons, because remember, every person has different reasons to contribute, and I want to take in mind that not all has the same reasons. Uh, Me, for example, I will say I don't need a mentor, but a mentor, it's one of the reasons people want to contribute to open source, for example. Improve software rely on. This is a very big one. If you're an open source user already, you use a tool, let's say Blender, and you rely on this software, like your work is based on this. You need you need this tool to win money, to make your products. I don't know, there's a lot of ways you can rely on software, right? Well, you can patch bugs, you can add features, you can better the documentation, you can chat with the community and say like, hey, I've seen like these, it's not working properly, or these could work in a more efficient way. Then you're improving the software you're relying on. And this is one of the most important benefits, because you make your own tool better. You can, even with this, improve your existing skills. Because let's say you're a programmer, right? But what makes you a better programmer than applying this knowledge in a very big project just like Blender? Again, I put this same example yesterday, but that's why our fellowship it has the the track on open source, because you're putting your skills in practice. You're coding for a big project. They even have these GitHub internships in which you can practice, and you can get paid for it. Well, that's another thing. Getting paid, right? Remember, it is not free. Open source doesn't mean free. as gratis, right? Have that in mind. Another is that you can meet people who are interested in the similar things just as you do. And another one could be that you build artifacts that can help your reputation and your career. Plus, so you're improving your skills, and it's open source, so it's public, so every people can see it. So you can I mean, it's not like in another works, right? That you build an amazing interface or you build such a great code, but you cannot share it. You cannot show it to anyone because you sign a non-disclosure agreement, right? It's part of your company. It is not public. You can uh, show it in your resume. You can show it in any scenario because you'll be violating your non-disclosure agreement, right? So in this case, open source gives you that opportunity that you can show what you build, that you can show your code, yet you can show the thing that you work on. And that's very impressive and a very good thing individually, right? So these are some of the benefits of working with open source. But there are more, right? Why to contribute? At, at least for some peoples I have known, it's to find a person who can be its mentor that they didn't find in the school or in other works, etc. But in open source, we want to teach each other, right? So having this person who hides you to make better contributions, to write better code, to write better, read need better documentation, etc. It's another good advantage of open source, right? We can learn from other people, and that's implicit in there. And we can empower each other because it is empowering to be honest, to see how we can change or we are able to change things that, yeah, that we can use commonly, right? Um, so yeah, that's it. That's a reason of why to contribute. So this is the complicated part. We end with the technical aspects, and we are ready to go to the real problems of how to contribute in open source. Finding a project. There are some things that you can have in mind. I recommend you actually to have in mind. That is, think of projects that you use of or you want to use, right? Uh, if you're not an open source user, you're not use a tool, you don't use even a language that is open source, a framework that is open source. That I actually think that's kind of weird because there's a lot of open source in the network, right? So you probably don't know it's open source, but it is. And on Friday we are going to discuss that we are going to explore projects that you didn't think of it as open source, but they are. I don't know. We talked about Angular, uh, Python, what else? Next.js. You have thought of it? Like, okay, these are open source. I can modify them. I can do a lot of things. Okay, but if you have think of these tools, but you think that you're not skilled enough, you're not, um, yeah, your abilities doesn't allow you to put in practice this contribution to open source with this. Okay, you can search for issues. Every repository, every open source repository has issues that you can check and you can see like, hey, I could solve this, or no, this is not for me. I need to check something else, etc. Um, if you can't find an issue, look for things that you can make better, that you can improve, that you can enhance, and try to suggest that. Yesterday we talked about it's not like, hey, I see this, so I modified it. No, no, no. First, talk it to the community. First, let more people know what do you think of it. Let more people take action. Let more people be involved. Don't just go to a project and change it completely. That would be rude, to be honest. But talk it, make it public, flag it, right? And if anything, uh, if this doesn't work, if till this point you can think of a project that you want to use or that you already use that has these issues, that has these problems that you can fix, or it doesn't have things that you can make it better, that you can improve, well, there are tools we can explore to try to find more projects, to try to find more issues we can check. And I'm going to share to you one list. Actually, it's an article from the GitHub open source guide. So let me share it with you, and we are going to discuss it. Here is the article: opensource.guide/how to contribute. We have a comment here. Hi everyone. Hi. Huh. Why there are so many licenses and what they are the uses? Okay. Remember, we talk about open source not free, so we need to protect somehow in a way our intellectual property and our use cases, and we don't want to like contribute to a project and then someone steal that project and sell it. No, I don't know. It is like a complicated thing, but I see a good, very good comment here about chooselicense.com, because you will see. I think the most common one it's MIT. Um, I need to check that fact again, but yeah. Um, For the moment, you just need to think as you need a license to protect the project itself, and what things you need to have in mind for this. There are tools just like this one, choosealicense.com, that can help you with those decisions, right? What if I take an open source software of a company, download it, make it better and proprietary, then start selling it? Will I get sued? Well, that's exactly the point. With this license, we can prevent people from doing this, but also, if there's the option of open source, uh, why should anyone choose the proprietary one, right? Um, Maybe it makes sense in our heads. Like, I just can take this and sell it. But remember, there's another option that did already existed in open source. So, uh, community. Remember the thing about the community. The community will say like, hey, you see that guy? It's selling the same thing we're using, but proprietarily, right? Uh, okay, you can get sued for that. Thanks here to Fashik, who's giving these great comments about technically this will not be allowed for us licenses. Therefore, if someone who has not the copyright owner were to do this, will be in violation of the license terms and therefore also violation of the copyright law. Exactly. So, well, as I was telling you, the license help us prevent this. But even if someone make it, the community will just ignore that. Just not use that software. The community, this is community driven, right? So community take action on, hey, come here, this is open source, we can make it. uh, if you improve a project yourself, you're a very good programmer, to be honest. And if you want to make it a closed software, you will have to issue some yeah, law requirements, etc. But the community is using yet another tool. So I won't say that's a common scenario on open source projects, but it was a very good question and help us check on the licensings. I think I always forgot to add to this explanation, right? So thanks a lot. Thank you, Fishik, for helping with these responses, right? I just really was telling you that with all the comments and all the good parts of the community, we did our yesterday talk open source because you were like contributing in the comment section. I like to see that today's session also it's being turned open source. So if you have opened this one and you scroll down to the finding a project to contribute section, you will see a list of uh, how to say it, resources, links that can help us finding these projects, right? So let's open one which can be first timers only. If you open this first timers only page, let me share with you the exact link for this. Here it is. And let me change my slides to let's contribute, right? Because, yeah, it's what we are going to do right now. Let's find the project. Welcome. Let's do some open source. Contributing to open source for the first time it can be scary and a little overwhelming. Perhaps you're a newbie, or maybe you've been coding for a while but haven't found a project you feel comfortable contributing to. You can do it here, and here's how. If you have never contributed to an open source project before, you just need to get started. Consider exploring these resources. First Contributors is a hand-on tutorial that walks you through community contributions or workflow. Oh, for this, I think it will be better that I share my screen here. So let me open this. Share screen. Okay, just a second. Share screen. And here it is. Up for Grabs, it's a site that aggregates rollups and make it easy to explore projects that actually want help. Good First Issues.com is a site that aggregates the latest issues with labeled Good First Issue. I actually recommend this a lot because it is very useful to find not only good first issue but the latest ones, right? Uh, Code trigger, reading blog post. If you're just getting started with tech and planning to become a social developer with the meta documentary training, get you involved. Okay, from this, we are going to use good first issues. Again, I will copy and share with you the link. So, uh, let's start exploring what operations in operations.py are needed. Feature add short names to config, create a footer, inner array validation, weather app. You can check that some of these projects have stars and some of them no, right? We can start filtering by languages, which is what I'm going to do right now because I want to check just JavaScript issues labeled with Hacktoberfest because we are on Hacktoberfest, and I don't want to label by repository, and I don't want to check number of stars. So create a footer for the weather app. This is something I can do, but I don't know. Create a good README. This will imply knowing the app, so not for me. Add stack program in Java, neural network visualization using HTML and CSS, QR code generator, Python implementation forum. Okay, change title and logo, revamp, search, workbook, implement, create. Okay, let's choose this create a footer. So let's go to this issue. Here, create a better and attractive footer. Working with this issue, please assign to me. Would I like to contribute? It is still done. Okay, this is important because remember, let's get a step back. Checking list before you contribute. This is the open source guide. Meets the definition of open source. Is this an open source project? I will say yes, because it's for Hacktoberfest, it's labeled with good first issue, and it has a lot of participants, right? Also, if we go to the code, we can see this is a global weather app with a good README. They even give screenshots of this. It has a contributing section, and this is very important. The contributors are welcome. If you find any issues or have suggestions for improvements, feel free to open an issue or create a pull request. So, yeah, it met the definition of open source. So, what else we can check? The license. License is very important. Uh, What else? Project actively accepts contributions. We checked that it was okay. We checked the last the last comment was 1 hour ago, right? How many contributions does the project have? Not so many, but they have. How often do people commit? Okay, we can check this. 2 hours ago, it commits. We can check for commits here. When was the last commit? Yeah, 2 hours ago. So a very active project, right? Even in main, but it should have other branches. Okay, no other branches, but yeah, it's a how to say it, a very new repository. Uh, then we can take a look at the project issues. So if we go here, it's a issues section, and they have two: add relevant fab icon to website and create a footer. For this one, we see that they have a lot of people, at least two, trying to contribute to this. And this issue is already being assigned and command take action 5 hours before us and start creating this issue. So for the other one, the fab icon feature and relevant fab icon, they have two pull requests trying to being approved in waiting for the response of the creator, and those two trying to add the five icon. So we probably will need another issue, right? So we can go back and try to look for another. We can even come here to goodfirstissue.dev and check for more, right? Let's let's look for JavaScript projects only. This helps you find projects, not issues itself. But you can see here that this project has three issues. This one has 10, and this other one has 10, this other one has 6. So let's try to check. For example, Apollo Universal Starter Kit is a SEO-friendly field configure and module starter application that helps developer to streamline web. Okay, let your file export more from your infrastructure. This note doesn't tell us a lot of things. The dynamic style sheet language, Max.js, an open source web-based view for JavaScript. Okay, this can be interesting. This issues has consolidate view keyboard handling, canvas focus event. Can we change Mac? Okay. Question detecting full screen. TypeScript version defining files. The canvas key. Okay. Margarita Humanitarian. Impactful ways to help families in need to donate meals. Okay, this could be interesting too. Yeah, yes, documentation cover, experiment with adding real image photo to cars, improve code in any way, improve design in any way. Let's see issues of these. Okay, got it. What else? I'm looking for projects and issues we can check in this moment. I mean, like doing a really good, how to say it, a contribution. It won't necessarily be in 2 seconds. You'll need to take your time, etc. Uh, Monday, you are a React core. One more than one row leaves. Okay. Okay, these are fixed to components. Make the website responsive for mobile platform. I can do this very quickly, I think. So I will go to this issue and I will check. We can even take advantage of how to say it. Um, yeah, ChatGPT and make this really quick. The logical project coffee. It's a project about coffee, so very good for me. Okay, again, lots of people trying to contribute to this project, but no sickness from this. So we may not be able to find a issue to work on this, but I want you to check the workflow, which is why we're here, with the important things. Remember, first find the issue, the project you want to contribute, then verify it's a project. For that, sorry, verify that it's a project, that it's open source, that has a license, that it's actively being contributed, that it's actively being being part of the decisions that the community makes. Uh, for that, you can check here on GitHub the issues, the pull requests, the code, the branches, how many people it's involved in the project, how many stars it has, how many people are watching it, how many forks. That this is very important too. So I don't know. This one is not a good example because it's very new and you see 7 hours ago, and it now has three people wanted to fix this. So if you don't have a project, if you don't have another thing like this, another thing I will recommend is make your own projects open source and start label them like good first issues, label them like Hacktoberfest, label them as books, label them as this kind of things, and you will see a lot of people will want to add to your code, will want to implement things, we want to help you make that project possible. And that's a fascinating thing about this community, right? Um, Here, at the project, the maintainers respond. Okay, this part is the one I want to take action. How to submit a contribution. Once you communicate effectively with your maintainer, for that, I'm going to take this and this example. Fa, 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 uh, here. This is very complete. So the issue, the maintainers want to improve the design, right? Anyway, so this issue is a general invitation to anyone to submit a pull request to improve the design on the site in any way. Tiny incremental improves are the best. Find a design tweak that makes the site 1 to 5% better and submit a pull request for it. So maintainer, it's very clear on what he wants, right? So then the contributors says like, hey, I want to make this. So she responds, cool, this one is yours. And a caution, there is another issue also touching the design, specifically the one about multi-column layout and the PR on the form UX. I suggest starting with the smile design improvement. So then the maintainer respond, okay, I will make sure of it. And then the PR is made. So you can take a look of the PR. We can do it, and let's see what in design to change. Two commits seven conversations. Okay, no, this is for okay. Looks good, smells nicer, much nicer. Another maintainer. The only issues that the health education workshop card were on the desktop display. Okay, I love the design about the education workshop card. I noticed before. Okay, this is a for another thing. The maintainer approved this. This was fork. Sorry, this was merged to the main branch, and then the pull request was closed. So this is the workflow. This is how we can contribute. What else happened? Another contributor comes here. Hey, so Audrey, Subash, I thought it would be cool to add a small leaf to the buttons. He, sorry, she tries to add more things, tries to implement it, and here another pull request was made. If we go here, probably there will be another discussion of why this on how this could add to the design, what she does, what this pull request contains. Communication again, communication is key for everything, not only open source, and you are going to thank me. Uh, Again, Red Fox probably another maintainer, very correct, a fixed shift interaction. So Audrey says that she loves this. Thanks, Red, for providing guidance, etc. They make a reviewing on this, and after that, after the changes were well, you see, the original author was tough, and for her pull request, some corrections were needed, and another author, Marek Kronos, fixed them, and then both corrections, the work for two authors, Tough, and you will see Marek Kronos, were merged by Paddy, Pai Danny, uh, another maintainer, I'm guessing. And then kudos to Tough, right? But this is another way you can contribute, even if it was not your original pull request, your original idea. You can go and check if the author of that has an issue, has something that needs to be corrected, or anything that does not fits their requirements, and you can check it. This in this case, it's just like changing the import of the thing, putting it in a global styles, uh, and yeah, and remove the empty lines. And that's a contribution too, and a very good one, to be honest. Uh, and this issue allowed one, two, three, four merges, four project changes, a style fix, an update to the footer design, a UX improvement, and the bottom lift and text shadow thing. So if we return to this add 5 icon, you you can only have one 5 icon, right? But that does not let you that being already taken prevents you from actively contribute. You can say, hey, I like this 5 icon, but I like this more. This is why I think this can, I don't know, change the perception of the project, etc., etc., etc. Give your ideas, communicate with the community, and make that pull request. Remember, if a maintainer approve it, if the community approve it, you will be good to go. But this communication, talk with the community, talk with the contributors, flag things. They say, like, actively say, I think this is not good. I think this is bad. I think this could be better. I think this. I think that. Um, Respond if you see a conversation here on any issue, on any other thing, any pull request. You can give your opinion on that, and that will be also contributing to open source. Remember, open source is community driven, and it's the most important thing about open source. Here we can see more examples of what we saw in real context of GitHub. Uh, they give you more advices of on gathering context, creating pull requests, raise an issue, communicate via whatever communication channel the project has. I told you about the discussion forums, but there is also Discord, Slack, um, Telegram, maybe, etc. You can open the issue, you can open the pull request, and basically that's it. That's anything you need to communicate effectively and to contribute to the open source projects. um, okay, this is important. What happens if you don't gather a response? Hopefully you can change the project for activity if it wasn't actively in the last year, I would say. You cannot hope to receive a response. Uh, Someone requests change in your contribution, it does not happen. Well, it's not a bad thing. Remember, this is community driven, so community and your personal things cannot be on the same page. Don't take it personal. Um, just think that this is for the good of the community. Your contribution does not get accepted, that's great. That doesn't matter. That you make your best. You can try it again. Try to speak what happened, why it wasn't accepted, what maintainers didn't like about it. Your contribution was accepted. Okay, congratulations, you make a successful open source contribution. And that's it. That's the talk I wanted to give to you. That's anything I think I can share now. Ooh, I was frozen. So I was really in the mood. Sorry, I didn't see the comments here. Where I started to get frozen. I've noticed. Okay, MLH, I love this. Also, oh, Ghoul. First of all, am I still frozen? Can you see me? Can anyone here please let me know in the comments if I am frozen again? Um, I'm really okay. The screen was frozen. Okay, amazing. What did you miss? What I was talking, and you didn't see the visual complement of that. Did you see the pull requests, the page I was sharing? What was in what moment it was frozen? I don't know. Sorry. Um, right now we can see you. Okay, thanks a lot. It's good now. Okay, okay. I'm going to help us to give. It's really cool. Finder.edihub.io. Hello from Pakistan. Hello from Mexico. The stream is frozen. I think it's frozen for everyone. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize it. I've noticed people requesting to be assigned to issue in the comment section of particular issue. Is it always necessary to do that, or it can be simply make a pull request if we are able to fix it? Uh, I will say that for things you have for sure you can do, uh, just fix it and make the pull request. And it depends a lot of the project, it depends a lot of the community, and it depends a lot of the issue. Again, you will need context for this because remember, and I was showing you this screen, not all times that you make a pull request you will be able or your contribution will be accepted, right? uh, and even if you do not get accepted, not always the you will you will receive a response, right? So you can think of uh, if you just make the pull request but never receive a response, never get accepted, etc. Uh, you can think of it as if you work for nothing. If you ask before doing the pull request, before doing this contribution, and the people in the issue tell you like, hey, okay, make it, okay, you are assigned to this issue, that will be a pre-confirmation, and that will help you. Again, that will be the better approach. That is a very good practice. Um, if in your community, in the project you're working on, they say like, hey, this is urgent, don't wait for you to be assigned, you just for example, the one we saw, they make an open issue to receive um, proposals on how the design could be improved. You don't need to be assigned to that. You can just fork the project, start making your design changes, make your proposal, and then create a pull request telling what you built, how you build it, why you build it, a lot of context about it. And that will be a case in where you didn't um, needed to be assigned to the issue. In other cases, for example, I would say in the one we saw about the fab icon, two pull requests were made, and to be honest, you just need one fab icon. One of those persons either didn't follow the right approach to this solution, or wanted to propose another Fabaco because the other one didn't like him so much. But I didn't see that on the comments. I didn't see that on discussion. I didn't see that thing because the README didn't mention that. But you will see. Uh, it's up to the project, up to the community, up to the context of the issue itself. But I will say, in general, yes, you will have to be assigned to work on that. Let's go, let it go. The cold doesn't bother me anymore. It's no reading comments either. Okay, okay. Let's see. I'll ping them. Okay. At some point, the image went back, right? Another comment here from Fashik. I go ahead and create a prayer. The tip it's add fix nowhere in the commit message to automatically link the related issue, and GitHub will also close that issue when the commit is merged. Okay, that's very cool and a very pro tip, to be honest, about the automation of closing the issue when the commit is it's merged. Sorry, till the pull request is merged. I make music, right? We can see you. Yo, you got some cloud. Okay. I'm an electronic music producer too. Okay, that's very cool that you were interactive here in the comments. Uh, but yeah, that is the end of our session. Um, what else I can tell you? This was a really good session. I think. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Uh, Here's my closing slide. I hope you can get everything you need from this session about how to contribute to open source, why to do it, what is open source. Okay, for this comment, I think my screen is frozen again. But I'm sharing uh, a slide that just says thanks for listening. That's everything. I want to take advantage of this moment. Meanwhile, my screen stopped being frozen to see if you have any questions, anything related to open source, anything related to code, anything questions at all, right? So let me know if any question. If no, we're free to go. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you learned as much as me. I hope you get excited about contributing to open source and make your good first issue for once at all. Uh, Let me know if you need help with anything, and I'll be around on the Discord, and I'll be around in the next hackathons, and I'll be around for my Friday session about exploring open source projects that you didn't even know that were open source. Yeah, I'm talking about big ones, not the kind of ones we saw on this session. Okay, I think no more questions then. Thanks to you, Skitty24. I really like that you being so participative here. Thanks for Four. Thanks Fashik. Thanks Baku. Thanks Anad. Thanks. Um, who else? Munib. Thanks Cool Dude. Thanks. Thank you all. Really, really thank you all. Appreciate. And thanks for listening. I will see you around. Thanks, OG. So, goodbye. I'll see you on Friday.